Welcome aboard the Travel DJ Blend podcast. Rest assured, your captain and host Brian B. has logged extensive destination event miles as a headlining private event DJ. So expect to reach new heights each and every episode. Your captain will cover everything from DJ tips and tricks, travel hacks, and entrepreneurial advice. Keep your seat in the upright position while we bring you interviews with industry pros, pop culture commentary, and of course, music recs. The perfect blend. The fasten seatbelt sign is on, as we will likely experience turbulence from knowledge nuggets and truth bombs being dropped regularly. You're going to need your tray table, as taking notes is optimal. Smoking is prohibited on this flight, but your mindset shift will be fire. Your crew will be elevating the conversation and challenging the status quo. We know you have a choice when you fly this high, and we thank you for choosing the Travel DJ Blend podcast. Here's your captain, Brian B. Enjoy your flight.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Travel DJ Blend. Thanks for listening. If this is your first time stumbling onto this podcast, we cover 3 areas of interest. One of those buckets is 301 business strategies. The second is one-of-a-kind music finds. And the third bucket is travel hacks. You can be rest assured that every episode will fit into either one of those buckets or multiple of those buckets. Today, we're going to be in the 301 business strategy bucket. This is a listener requested topic on EPKs. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, it means an electronic press kit. Now, if you are a standard multi-op where you have multiple people working for you in a local market, I think you can get away without one of these for your folks. But if you are a traveling DJ for private events, I think this is a must. I also think for a single op who is trying to push up in price and separate themselves from the rest of the pack, it's also a good idea to have one of these. This can justify a higher rate because you're showcasing your work in a way that most people don't, especially in the private event space. The club world and EPK is pretty common, but you don't see it much in the private event world. So if you had to ask me what the value of this is, to me, it's really hard to quantify. I do believe it's landed me some events just on the EPK alone when maybe I was being pitched against other DJs. Now, I tried to create one of these myself early on in my career. I'm not a graphic designer by any stretch. I do know what looks good and what looks bad. And no matter how well I try to put this together, I just could not get it to look as professional as a graphic designer would. And nowadays, finding a graphic designer is a lot easier. I mean, you can start on a website like Fiverr, Fiverr.com. That site has since changed. It used to be everything was pretty much $5. Now it's gone up to like $25, $30 in a lot of cases. But still, for a project, that's a drop in the bucket for somebody who's a professional to do it. If you're looking to take it another step further, you can go to another site called Upwork. They tend to have higher caliber graphic designers. And if you really want to punch up in quality, go to 99 Designs and you get some graphic designers to bid on it based on whatever your budget is. For me, this is one of the first touch points that I send to a client who I feel it's a good fit for me to be considered for their event. And I send it before I even have the meeting with them. Now, I have pre-qualified them ahead of even having the meeting. Once the meeting is scheduled, then I will send them a subsequent email and say, hey, looking forward to our meeting on such and such a date. Here's some samples of my work. Feel free to review this before our scheduled meeting. So they're seeing it right away. I used to do these as a PDF, and I have to give credit to Andrea Appolito, a planner out of Las Vegas, who really kind of put me in the right footing as far as an EPK goes and said, don't do it on a PDF. It's not dynamic. Everybody's doing PDFs. Why don't you think about doing it on an online platform like Canva? And at the time, Canva was relatively new. This was a couple of years ago. She and I went back and forth on one that she was helping me create for a client pitch for her client that she felt like I was the perfect fit for, but my marketing collateral didn't measure up to what it needed to be. Hey, private event DJs, are you still planning your clients' events with a Google Doc or a Spotify playlist? If so, let me help you out. Vibo is a music and event planning app for your clients that I've been using for years. Not only has it been a great perk in booking my services, but it's the only tool that has ever been mentioned in client reviews. Vibo saves you time. It syncs your music from your client's requests in seconds, and it integrates with your music software of choice. Now here's an exclusive offer for my podcast listeners. Save $10 off your first month subscription by entering the promo code DJBrianB when booking your free demo on Vibo's website. This one small change will level up your business. Visit ViboDJ.com, enter the promo code DJBrianB, and book your free demo today. So what is included in an EPK? Well, if you do it on Canva, one of the beauties of that platform is that you can add in video, dynamic video, where like turning a book, a video can start immediately when they view it. So I think a captivating image or two of you doing your thing. I think a 1-minute highlight reel is important. Beyond that, I think a little bit of a bio, not in the traditional sense where you list all your accomplishments up front. That's what most people do. I would talk first about the process, the process and the journey you're going to take your client on. And then list your accomplishments, because the process is what you want to lead with. That's the differentiator, and it's substantiated by the people that you've worked with. Another part of the EPK for me is a slide to various mixes, audio mixes. And I've been strategic in that. I don't want to be creating new mixes every year. I don't think it's necessary. I'm all about legacy pieces that last the test of time. I have a client promise of giving them an evergreen soundtrack, and they can see that within the work that I'm presenting, that these things have lasted the test of time, these mixes. Another reason why I don't like to do mixes, and this is me kind of getting off on a little bit of a tangent here, is I like to be somewhat mysterious with how I perform, and they get that one-off experience when they get there. The purpose of me showing mixes in my EPK is to show not what I'm mixing, but how I mix. They can see me weaving between genres. They can see that I'm doing some quick mixing and that I'm doing some smart mixing, word plays, blends, infusing different genres. Now, I know some people love to do mixes, and hey, I'm not knocking it, but for me, I don't want to spend my time there. I also don't want somebody to ask me to play a specific mix from something that they heard of mine online. Again, my goal is to give them an evergreen soundtrack at their event, and I don't want my mixes to jade them. Does that make sense? I also think having something that is a live mix of you is important. And it doesn't have to be from an event. That would be ideal because people are on the dance floor and they can see how the crowd is reacting to your mixes. But it could also be an in-studio mix that's captivating. And again, you want to keep these things short. Mix as many songs as you can in within, a minute and a half to 2.5 minutes tops. But you want to keep it moving, because the minute it gets too long, they're going to tune out. So I have 2 videos in mind. One that's kind of a highlight reel, and then the second one that is me mixing from an event and people reacting to that. Hey DJs, real quick, Brian B here with a tip. One of the hottest DJ music pools right now is Heavy Hits. Are you familiar with it? You need to be. They cover literally every genre, from top 40 to hip hop to Latin to Afro beats and more. Not only that, but their curated playlists and charts, including trending Spotify and TikTok tracks, are second to none. The interface is easy to use, and they have a ton of exclusive edits, which I use on the regular. But you want to know the best part? For my podcast listeners, I have a special promo code that will give you a 30-day trial for $5. Yep, you heard that right, $5. Go to heavyhits.com and enter the promo code BrianB. That's heavyhits.com, and the promo code is BrianB, all one word, no spaces. Take advantage of this right now and up your music game today. I repurpose that EPK after I've had my meeting with the client. I keep one slide that's kind of like my proposal slide. And in a very conversational manner, I'll list the things that I'm going to do in sections. So it might be what the talent looks like as far as the things I'm going to provide under that umbrella of talent. Then there'll be a production piece within that slide that talks about what's needed for that specific event as far as gear. Then I have a separate area which is travel. And then I have a fourth category is add-ons. Another way of kind of framing add-ons could be enhancements. This could be live musicians. This could be special effects, experiential entertainment. And at the bottom of that slide, I put an all-in inclusive price. Nothing is broken down in sections. It's kind of like an overview, if you will, and a very kind of top-line slide of what I'm proposing that I provide. The cool thing about Canva is that you can download it as a PDF if you want, but I literally have used this EPK and repurposed it for different clients. I might switch out a few images based on the event type or the location, but the reason why I send it with a proposal sheet after the meeting is because I want there to be a through line. They've seen that EPK once. Now they know the pricing. Now they've heard what I'm planning on providing them. And it's kind of like a reminder, if you will, because a lot of the same elements from the EPK, in fact, the exact same elements from the EPK are there. The only difference is that there's an investment overview slide for them to review. The last page of the EPK for me is a contact slide. So it just lists my email address, my phone number, and the website.
That last slide is there no matter if the pricing overview slide is there or not. That's always there.
Well, I hope this topic has been helpful. Like I said, this was a listener requested topic. If you have more questions on an EPK, message me on Instagram at the Travel DJ Blend or DJ Brian B Official.
It would be remiss of me not to mention that I have some bonus episodes dropping at the same time as these public episodes. So my bonus episode for this one that is dropping on my premium podcast subscribers section of my website, just go to thetraveldjblend.com, click on premium podcast content, and you'll see it. That bonus episode is going to cover travel hacks, some new things I'm using, and some things I've never mentioned before, like Bluetooth in-flight AirPod transmitters, my UDG bag review, and I talk a little bit more in depth on packing cubes, which I posted a little packing hack to my Instagram not too long ago. So this goes along with that. Again, only available to my premium podcast subscribers. Also, to preview the next episode for the public, episode 3 will be my January 2023 music review. Stay tuned for that.
Until next time, I'm Brian B.
Thanks for listening. You can find this podcast on multiple platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. If you have a topic you'd like covered, DM us on Instagram at the Travel DJ Blend. We'd appreciate you sharing the love with a comment or a share on our social media posts for this episode. And if you are really digging the content, help us with the algorithms by leaving a review on any of the platforms we just mentioned. Until our next time together, this is the Travel DJ Blend Podcast.